And that concludes the initial run of Time Stories, A Prophecy of Dragons. And let me tell you, I cannot wait for run number 2. Now, I'm actually re-recording this part because initially my inclination was to just leave it at one run and have that sort of be a teaser taster of the game. Obviously, I'm sensitive to the issue of spoilers. However, that just I couldn't stop with just one run, and here's why. There's so much left to explore. I could get another party of mages together, maybe bring in the alchemist, tackle this way into the castle again. I could get the assassin in my team and go underground, under the inn. I still have the castle plaza to explore, and at least one other conversation to be had at the old dock with the fighter type characters. So there's a lot left to do, and I'm really excited to figure out what I'm going to do differently on my next run. Furthermore, I think to get a true taste of how Time Stories works, you need to include the second run. And that's because so much of the first run is like blind exploration, sort of like groping around in the dark, figuring out, just getting a sense of the world, of the time period that you've been dropped into. The second run has purpose. You have maybe you want to take some time to explore a different route, but generally you have an inkling of where to go, and you have an idea of what the efficient things to do would be and the inefficient things to do, and it goes by much more quickly, and I think the true experience is in run number 2. So I am going to record a second run, and I believe what I'm going to try to do is put together another party of heroes almost identical to the ones that I have right now. I know you'd probably like to see some of the other heroes, but I think this path in to the castle with the limbo is a pretty good one. If I got the alchemist on my team, who also has the magic stat, so he could be working on dealing with some of these tests, I would be into the castle even more quickly. And since I'm going to be going to the Lost Woods to gather ingredients, that's got a space for the alchemist that is exclusive to that character, plus the space for the ranger that gives me a treasure trove of magical ingredients. So I think just a slight tweak to the team, replacing Guillaume the Thief with the halfling alchemist, is really all that's necessary for this run. And then, of course, some other time when I play the game, I'm going to try the Thieves Guild sort of underground route, and I will try the fighter characters, and I will try whatever is to be found at the Castle Plaza. But for now, I'm going to go for continuing to feel out this magic user path. So I'm going to reset the game, and I will join you when I'm finished. Hey there, YouTubers. Kitten Order here, and you're watching Session Report, the show that takes you to the gamer's table to share the surprises that come out during play. And you are watching Run 2 Dose of Time Stories, A Prophecy of Dragons. If you have not watched part 1 of the run, I believe you should go back and do that now. Particularly, make sure to look at the beginning of the video where I talk about spoilers. Spoilers are a big deal for some people when it comes to this game in particular. So if you do not want to be spoiled, you should probably stop watching now. Okay, you're still here, so that must mean that I am free to do as many spoilers as I want. So, the Time Agency has sent us back to Aquaria, or whatever the name of this planet was. Let me tell you, I did not expect this mission that's like the magical fantasy thing to be take place on another planet in the future. That was not my expectation, but probably not the weirdest thing about this game. Okay, so we are on Algaria. That is what it is. Algaria. A medieval type city of technology level 2 located on the planet Linnaeus, in the Ribon 004 system. We are in Algaria, and the heroes for this run are mainly the same as before. We have Elven Gallienir, the lady with a 5 o'clock shadow, who is also an elvish ranger. We have the newcomer, Finnuk Shepning, who is a sort of a halfling alchemist. We have Miriam Lamb, the priestess, who is another returning character. And we have Altace the Elder, the old grumpy mage, who is our third returning character. And this run, we've been given free choice to begin wherever we want. So I'm going to start out in the Lost Woods gathering ingredients. Then going to pop over to the market, buy a few items, and go straight into the castle into the castle. But first we're going to pass through that weird area from the previous run. So, let's just begin. The woods that surround the city are surprisingly wild. As soon as you've passed its edge, all traces of civilization disappear, giving way to luxurious and chaotic flora. Okay. So, I've read this before, but now, for the first time, we can investigate this minuscule door. Before I do that, though, I am going to want to send every character over here to Woods Space C, and we're going to do that once per visit gathering action. So, flip over the card. The undergrowth is a real botanical garden. You can find herbs as long as you're looking for them. All agents present in the space can make an agility roll during one time unit. All of the successes are totaled, and you recover herbs of your choice according to this chart. Every single agent is going to do this. So that is an agility roll of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 5 more from Elven, for a total of, I believe that would be 12. Okay, so, you know what? Well, we're each making separate rolls. Yeah. Because I was going to say there's a rule in the game that you can roll a maximum of 6 dice at once, no matter how many modifiers you have to your check. But it does say all agents make an agility roll, not all agents add their agility numbers together. I was just doing that to make it easier. So let's do the separate rolls. Elven first. Very, very clumsy Elven. 1 success for you. We now have Finnuk. That is a second success. We are doing very poorly, as usual, when I have to roll dice. There we go. Miriam came from behind with some nice, large amount of successes. So I'm going to take one of these ones and turn it into a 2, so I can take one of these dice back and roll for Altace the Elder. And we have 2 more successes. So that's a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 successes. I can get green herbs for 1, blue herbs for 1, or brown herbs for 2. So I'm going to start by distributing the blue herbs, which are the handiest ones. So for 9, I can get, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 blue herbs if I wanted. And the blue herbs, remember, are a flower called bluess. We can then get a couple of brown herbs. Finnock would really benefit from some brown herbs. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could then spend the rest of my herbs on green or brown. I believe or green or blue, I mean. I believe I'm just going to get another blue. All right, so take these brown. I'm going to give them both to Finnock over here. I will give him one of the blues. I will give 2 of the blues to Altes and 2 of the blues to Miram Lamb. And then we're done. So this is once per location visit, and that has been concluded. All right, second time unit for everybody to move to a new location. Finnock is going to investigate the tiny little halfling-sized hole over here. You'll notice that I did switch the colors around a little bit. Finnock is now playing orange. Altes is now playing purple because it matches their sort of dominant color scheme of their card a little better. Elvin is going to go over here, and then these two are going to go here. Reveal the card. Elvin is going to use her special gathering ability. Let's reveal this one. We have encountered a cave troll who has 4 shields, 4 regular shields. Sort of make this nice and tidy, actually. 4 regular shields, 1 heart shield, and 2 skull shields. And then let's see what Finnock's up to. And just so I don't forget, I'm going to bring up something, which is that I will be most likely fighting with magical attacks. And remember that the magic of magic, according to one of the base cards, is that when I remove shields, I can remove the shields from anywhere instead of moving from the left on. So I'm going to want to remove these 2 shields first, which will basically disable the enemy, assuming that I get at least 2 hits. But first, let's go see what Finnock has to deal with. Hi there, Finnock. As you can see, it's still Trullaloo who watches over the entrance to the paths of the little people. Heard you were trying to get into the castle. It'd be pretty easy to help you with that. By going through the paths, I can open a direct access to the tunnels beneath the castle. But you know how things work? I'll help you if you help me. Bring me back the Queen of the Fairies, and I'll let you through. You'll recognize her by her light blue skin. Light blue skin, the Queen of the Fairies. Okay. This is an interesting card. It does not actually have anything here for me to do. So I assume that the Queen of the Fairies herself will say that I can interact with that card in a certain way. In any case, we're now going to use a time unit, and we're going to do our rolls and our magic. So first, Elvin is going to make her special gathering roll once per mission with all 5 dice. That was pretty poor showing. Elvin just gets 2 more blue, or 2 more green and 1 blue. We'll just set those off to the side because Elvin does not use those. This then gets removed from play, and it's time for the fight. So, Miram Lamb has probably the most reliable combat ability. Altes the Elder has a pretty nice disintegration spell or an explosion spell that he can choose to do. And the disintegration spell is pretty darn powerful. So I'm just going to go with Altes's disintegration, rolling 4 magic dice. And we have 3 successes. Between 1 and 4 successes, I remove 3 shields from the space. That would be 1, 2, and 3, leaving the enemy incapable of counterattacking. If I had rolled multiple skulls, it still might have counterattacked, but luckily I just rolled the 1 skull. So that's done with. Then Miriam does not have to spend any ingredients. She can just use a regular melee combat attack. Although, yeah, because her Mystic Bolt is not going to deal with this thing any faster anyway. So, ta-da! And that is 2 more shields off of it. So it still survives to fight another turn. We're going to use 1 more time unit. And let's see. First, I think Elvin is going to shoot over there from the adjacent space. Remember, he loses 1 success for this. Nothing. Miriam is going to attempt again. Yeah, she's going to attempt again. Just the 2 dice. Actually, I really want to get rid of this thing in this turn. I could use a Mystic Bolt, and it's guaranteed, if I roll at least 1 success, it's guaranteed to take away the other 2 shields. But I think I'm not in too much of a hurry. Oh, my goodness. Okay. And then Altis the Elder has a choice. He can most assuredly get rid of the thing with just 1 more spell, but that would use another magical ingredient. Do we want to use 1 more time unit? I think we do. This thing's not going anywhere. So, my goodness. And then for his action, Finnock will move over to help. All right, next time unit. Let's see. Finnock probably has... Yeah, he has a pretty nice combat ability he can use. But first, I'm going to do Elvin's ranged attack again. Well, that's much more like it. 1 success, because we lose 1 because of range. And then Miriam Lamb is going to melee again. Oh! Ouch. Good thing he has no more skull shields left, or that would have hurt her. Altis the Elder is going to attack just hand-to-hand melee combat. Nothing. And Finnock gets to choose whether he wants to use 1 of his magical ingredients, or if he wants to just roll 1 die and hope to kill the thing in this 1 turn. And I think he actually wants to use a magical ingredient this turn, because I don't want to spend any more turns trying to kill this thing. So this will almost guaranteed take it out. Yes, so I get at least 1 success. 1 or more successes means I remove 2 shields. So the troll is deceased. Dead as a doornail. It is an ex-troll, and I have earned the magical glyph medallion, which will help me get into the castle. Because he delivered the killing blow, I'm going to hand that over to Finnock, and we're going to head out. Okay, changing locations. We're going to pile up these cards here, slip them onto the bottom of the deck, and declare where we're going to head. Now, I can go into the Castle Plaza, see what's there, or just go straight to the market. I think I'm just going to go straight to the market, spend the gold that I have, and then get into that teleporter. So, then finally, we roll to see if we have an encounter. Yes, we do have an encounter, and the time token moves 1. Move everybody over to the side, and we'll see what our magical encounter is. Oh, crap. Get out, midgets. Gary isn't big enough for short people. It's a little ironic. Death to those shorter than 3 feet. If the party contains Finnock or the dwarfy guy, the extremists attack you. Otherwise, they ignore you, but nothing's keeping you from giving them a beating, should you so choose. So, 1, 2, 3 shields here. And this is a locked card, which means I cannot flee from the card without defeating them or attempting to evade. Remember, there are evasion checks possible in this game. I think it's an agility check, but I think maybe each player needs to do it. Let's see here. Yeah. Each agent who retreats loses 1 health. So I might as well just spend a couple of time units, kill these guys properly. So, but I think I'm gonna begin with running low on ingredients already. That's a shame. Oh, by the way, as I change locations, I can redistribute some of these tokens. So, Finnock does not need green. Elven doesn't need green or blue, so we're going to go ahead and give this blue to Altais the Elder, and give these greens, all of these greens, to Miram Lamb, who has some healing magic for us. So, what am I going to do first? I guess move all of these guys over to show that they're all participating in combat. I think I'm going to start with, well, let's see. I could start with a magic spell and remove those skulls. I really don't want to run out of magic at this stage. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go for it. I can do another magic spell with Altais the Elder. Magic is really expensive. These tokens do not come cheap. All right. We're looking for any number of successes, at least 1. All right, that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 successes. Using the blue spell again, this is Disintegration. I remove 3 shields. 1, 2, 3. So, however, I did roll 2 skulls. Even though there are no more skull shields, that is sufficient for a counterattack. I believe that is the rule. Let me check that. No. If you rolled at least 1 skull on the dice and the test still contains at least 1 skull shield, we get a riposte. So actually, that riposte does not happen because I got rid of their skull shields. Okay, so now the other characters are free to use melee to finish these guys off. So first we're going to go with Elven, who finishes off the ugly extremists. That encounter is finished and over and done with and whatnot. We're continuing moving toward the market district. Market, 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 market. All right, as you will remember from the previous run, there are some weapons. Well, we'll look at the card. There are some weapons and armors over in this stall over here. Potions and scrolls. Potions here. Scrolls here, and other various items, including one of those special items. So, as we are arriving in the market, I believe I'm going to take this blue S and hand that to Altais for his powerful disintegration spell, since we're in the process of moving. And also, let's consolidate our money. Well, no, we don't need to. We'll just decide where to go based on which characters we want to go there. So, I think Finnock is going to go purchase probably another glyph medallion, so that I have 2. Remember, they said that I would need them. They didn't say what for, so we're going to assume that possibly they will be useful. It did say that the more the better. Okay, and we definitely do want some weaponry, so again I'm going to go for that really awesome elven longbow. And then the other two should either go for the potions. Actually, I would definitely want potions because of the alchemy skill here. Finnock can regenerate a potion that has previously been used, immediately recovering the card. So probably going to go for a potion, or definitely going to go for a potion. That one there. However, I only have enough ingredients to really do that once, so I don't really think I should get many potions. So the final character, who is Altes the Elder, let's see, do I want armors and weapons more? No, because I have magical characters. So I think he's going to also go get the miscellaneous items. Okay, so we will begin with the weapons and armor. Remember, these are cards 41 to 50, and I get my free choice. And this time I'm just going to keep these set aside. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and set aside cards 41 to 50 now. I'm going to set aside cards 22 to 29. That was convenient over there. And then I believe it's just 30 to 39. Or 30 to 40 here. Let me see. What ingredients does the cat want to sell? 30 to 40. Okay. So let's do business. All right, 41 to 50. First, Elvin is going to purchase the elfin bow. That costs 3 gold. And Elvin can only wear a leather vest. Basically, the two mages cannot use armor or a weapon. Interestingly, Miriam Lamb does not have that restriction, so she could use armor. She could even use a battle axe. That's really interesting, actually. Warhammer. I don't have enough for that. That would be fun, though. I do have 4 more. The Sword of Volk might be fun to give her. It's funny, she does not have any restrictions like that. Somebody could have a leather jacket. There's a Sword of Gorm. Do not have the capability to wield that. It seems like with the funds that I have, the most... Well, this would let her roll 1 extra die. Which seems like that would probably be better to roll an extra die than to just generate an extra hit. Or is it? Is it better to generate an extra hit or roll an extra die? Huh. Well, the extra die has the chance of rolling 2 hits, but of course it has the chance of rolling 0 hits as well. I think maybe just the free hit. 1 free extra hit if I roll at least 1 hit. So that's going to cost 3 additional gold, and he's going to hold on to it for now. We'll hand that over to her later, and I'll put these cards aside. Because they're not on the same space, so they can't trade goods. Alright, next we will go for the potions. So Miriam Lamb is in the potion space. And we don't know yet when this water-breathing potion would be useful. We assume that the antidote would be useful at some point. Major healing, but again, we have a healer, and she's got quite a few ingredients for the healing spell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's got 6 gold to spend. cross a wall of fire, cross a chasm, or scamper off discreetly, ignore all wounds. I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to go for the potions that have a not necessarily a combat-based effect. So this water breathing is a good one to think about. So I could get the water breathing one, and I could get the fireproofing. I could also get the reality denial. That might be useful. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go for water breathing, reality denial, and we're going to get another one that costs 1 or 2, which really my option here would be the antidote potion. Do I really need the antidote potion? I don't know if I have any poison coming up, really. So, why not? Let's see. Instead of the water breathing, I could get the fireproofing. Yeah, I think that would probably be a better use of my money. Alrighty, we are back. The batteries were running low, so I had to give it a charge. But in any case, we're going to pick up our last few items at the market and then hop into the portal and go. So, let's see here. We have Altace the Elder and Finnock Shepning at the Scrolled Spell, home of the famous cat merchant Meowzers, Mr. Meowgy, Mr. Mew Mew. Any case, check this out. Fairy Cage. This would be what I would need if I were going to go back and do that side quest in the Lost Woods. But you know what? I don't think I need to do that this run. I would like to pick up this glyph medallion. So perhaps I shall spend my 7, because any amount of glyph medallions is better than a smaller amount of glyph medallions, as far as I understand it. As far as I've been led to believe. We're going to spend my 7 and go get that glyph medallion. That leaves me with 6 more gold pieces. And let's just pick up some things that seem like they might be useful. See, if I had this parchment of fireproofing, I could have gotten a different potion over there if I had thought about that. Condiments. That sounds tasty. Especially since we have our Finnock, the alchemist, with us. I think he might get some good use out of the condiments. You know what? That fireball scroll seems pretty good. Scroll of stasis sounds pretty good. Basically, all other agents get 2 additional actions. And I assume, yeah, it costs an action to use it. Let's see, I also have a grappling hook, which I would need to get across a chasm. But, see, with the coins I have left, I could get a grappling hook by itself, or I could get 1 or 2 other things. I think I'm going to go for the Scroll of Stasis. Give the other agents a few extra actions. So we're going to spend 4 more coins, grab the Scroll of Stasis, and that'll be it from Mr. Meowgy's shop. Mr. Muffle? Mr. Muffler? Mr. Mauser? Yeah, Mr. Mauser. Sir Cuddy, Sir Cuddles? Sir Cuddy. Sir Persalot? Alright. we are going to spend a time unit to head over to the other card. Only these two characters can go there. And flip over the card. And immediately we can open the location. So we're going to just go straight to location 6. And since I believe this still counts as traveling, technically. Alright. Location 6. So I believe this still counts as a traveling type of thing, even though it says do not spend any time units or this, that, and the other thing. I think that we still have the opportunity, should we so desire, to trade items and goods and whatnot. So I'm going to give the Sword of Valor, the Sword of Volk to Miram Lamb. She is going to give this spell ingredient to him because she's just going to hang on to all her greens and use that. The Potion of Reality Denial allows an agent to reroll up to 3 dice after a roll. Let's give that to Altace the Elder. Potion of Fireproofing, she'll hold on to that. The condiments should go to Finnock Shepning. The Scroll of Stasis, and that's an important one. I think that probably, I mean, it says that you need to get a minimum of 4 successes on a single magic roll, so that seems like that should go to Altace the Elder, who has the best magic skill. And then the Elfin Bow, go ahead and equip that. Alright, I think we're set now. So, let's see. You are now in limbo as if thrown into an endless fall, where space, time, and gravity have come apart. Then suddenly each of you is frozen, surrounded by multicolored shapes. Piercing pain begins to grow in the corner of your head, then becomes stronger, and spills over your entire body. Each agent must place themselves in a different space, then check your card. Any agents who cannot use magic are immobilized until someone else comes to rescue them and loses 1 health for each time unit spent. Once all of Limbo's magical flux has been dissipated, take item 9. Alright, so now, sort of forgotten already, but I think that the easiest one, which I would give to Finnock, well, it doesn't really matter. One of the two who have the lower magic score, I'll give it to Finnock, was here. That was the easiest one. I believe the most difficult was either one of these two. So I'm going to just have Altace go here. We will have, let's see, Elvin will go here, and Miram Lamb will go here. Alright, flipping them over. A magical test. Yeah, okay. The most difficult one is here. These two are pretty hard, and this one is the easiest. Sort of how I remembered it. So, spending 1 time unit. First, Elvin Gallionier loses 1 health. The Queen of the 5 o'clock Shadow. And now we're going to start with our tests. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. easy one. So the idea was Finnick's going to finish that one really quickly, then go over and help, what's his face? Okay, so, we're starting with Miriam Lamb over here. Could have been better, could have been worse. 2 shields, and then that adds up to 1, 2, 3, which exceeds her defense. So -1 for the skulls. Altes rolls 4 dice. Again, could have been better. 1, 2, 3, 4 skulls, so he also loses 1. And then, see, this is a magical test. It does not say it's combat, so I'm assuming it's not combat. So I'm assuming I cannot use the combat spells. Although, it just says remove 2 shields from your space. But it also says combat spell, so, not sure. Okay, Finnick. Oh, man. Oh, that's terrible. Could have got this one in 1 hit, but only ended up hitting it once, and the 3 skulls is going to exceed his defense. We already dealt with Elven, so we're just going to go 1 more time unit. Start with Miriam Lamb. That's nice. Alright, so she's completed her magical quest. Time for Altes the Elder. That was 1 too many dice. Well, even if I remove the best die from the pool, he still succeeds at the test, so. Now Finnick. Perfect. And then Elven, once again, loses 1. Alright, we're going to spend another for everybody to move over. Elven once again loses 1. And then we're going to spend another and basically complete everything, because there's no way we're going to lose. Alright, Altes the Elder first. Actually, I'm going to go with Miriam Lamb first, because she has the highest amount of remaining hit points. My gosh, very nice. Alright, so because she didn't roll any skulls, she doesn't take any hits. Finnick is next. Alright, we've completed the tests. Completed all 4 trials. Take item 9. Alright, so now we're getting into new territory here. Let's see what item 9 is. Aha! A map to the tunnels beneath the castle. So I'm going to set this aside over here, which I assume means we can now travel to the tunnels beneath the castle. Yep, I don't see any reason not. So let's go. One, 2, no encounters. Moving over to the tunnels. Ooh, this is interesting. Looks like one that I might need to shuffle things a little bit. Okay. Let's see what the card says. You're finally in front of the portal of the 3 glyphs. Each access point is covered with a halo that prevents all entry. From afar, spooky sounds are heard, which does little to reassure anyone. During setup, shuffle the 3 cards and place them randomly on spaces B, C, and D. The 3 cards each require a glyph to be accessible. Thus, if you only own 1 glyph, you can only reach 1 of your choice. If you have 2 glyphs, you can reach 2 cards of your choice. With 3, you have access to all 3. If you own no glyphs, or if the way you've chosen is a dead end, the only solution is to go back to the city. If you return later, you must set up the location as if it were your first time discovering it. In other words, shuffling the 3 cards, although, as I have mentioned before, actually, all 3 of these cards do have the same number on the back of them, which is an improvement from the other randomly shuffled cards that have different numbers on the back. Okay, so all 3 of these cards require the entire party to visit them, plus 1 glyph. And I assume that I essentially discard the glyph, but I assume I get to keep it to come back later. But let's see. 1. So that is glyph number 1. You're making headway in the tunnels when spikes burst from the walls on both sides, then retract. An agility challenge, it looks like. 2 skull shields. Each player takes a stack of... each player does it for themselves. So each player takes a stack of 2 skull shields for themselves. And note that each agent stuck in the trap must succeed the test individually, then take token Yeller. Okay. So time for the test. I'm going to set this aside just to show that I've already looked at one. Alright, time for the test. 1 time unit spent. And we will start with the greatest of them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Elven Duskbeard. What's her name? Elvenir. I think that's a success, though, because I got 2 hits, so succeed. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now, Finnock. Nope, he takes a hit. Okay. Miriam Lamb gets 3. And she succeeds. And Altace the Elder gets 2. He succeeds on 1. He does not take any hits. Alright, so 2 of them have managed to untangle themselves. 2 still remain. Let's try Altace the Elder again. Yes. Alright, that's done. And then Finnock also rolls 2. And he has completed his task. Alright, good work, everybody. So, that means we take the little yellow square token. Put that there. Now, I can then go to this location immediately, or I can explore one of the other spaces. I think just because I have the 2 glyphs, I'm going to go for another one of the spaces. So we're going to everybody move over here, and we'll take a look at this one. You've made some headway in the tunnel and end up facing a closed grate. To continue, you'll probably need the help of the entire group. The shields must be removed in a single time unit. Alright. So I assume that means, basically, everybody gets to roll, but if any remain, it goes back up to 4 after a single time unit. So we're going to start with the greatest of them all, Lady Duskbeard, and she has already scored 3 hits. We're going to move on to Miriam Lamb, who gets to roll 3 dice. And that is perfectly fine. Alright. So now we get the black and white state token that looks a little bit like this. Oh. I could have sworn that one I got out was black and white. There we go. Okay, so those are the only ones I can look at. I now get to look at one of these two cards. I'm going to move over to the yellow one, and let's see what it has to say. Okay, location 7G. Ooh. You end up in a round room, which turns out to have no exits. As you're retracing your steps, an enormous spider descends from the ceiling and bars your way. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to fight. If the spider removes at least one hit point from an agent, the agent becomes poisoned. With each movement, the agent loses another hit point. To counteract the poison, you must use an antidote. Perfect. Okay. So first of all, we're going to go with the Altes the Elder, who is going to use his disintegration spell. So he's going to, or not his disintegration, he's going to use his combat explosion. So see how many dice I get to, how many successes I get. Alright, just 2 successes, which means I remove 3 shields. 1, 2, 3. And I did roll some skulls, so he's going to take a hit and he becomes poisoned. How do I indicate that he is poisoned? I will put a skull on him. Alright, he is now poisoned. Every time we move, or he moves, he loses another hit, which is bad. Can I remove poison? With alchemy, you'd think that I would be able to remove poison with alchemy, but I don't see anything like that. Okay. So, you know what? I don't know if I spent a time unit to start the combat, so I'm going to go ahead and, better safe than sorry, spend 1 now. Okay, so I think Miriam Lamb is going to go for her minor healing spell instead. Well, no, wait a second. Because I'm in a combat, I think I can only use combat magic, unless that was just a poorly worded phrase. If you're in the same space as a test, you can cast only combat spells. So that sounds to me like I can cast only combat spells. So Miriam Lamb can swing her sword. If she gets at least 1 well, first we'll go with the ranger. So the ranger gets to roll 4 dice because he's got his bow equipped. That was horrible. Well, luckily, it did not break through his defense, so he's fine. Now, we're going to go for, actually, we're going to use Finnick Shepning. He's going to spend an alchemy ingredient, and he's going to cast his Chef's Bouquet combat spell. Okay. He is also now poisoned. Fun. Well, let's see. Can I use my Potion of Reality Denial? Allows an agent to re-roll up to 3 dice after a roll. I think I can use this, even though it's not the agent holding the potion, because it says an agent. So I'm going to use the Potion of Reality Denial. I'm going to put it up here, because I can regenerate the potion using Finnick's ability. So, re-rolling the 3 dice. All we need is a single success. Alright, there we go. 2 successes. Alright, so the spider has been dealt with. Okay, I believe that just is a dead end. So, It says if you own no glyphs or the way you've chosen is a dead end, the only solution is to go back to the city. But I do have the ability to visit this other card. I think that means I can keep exploring. I don't think that I need to go back to the city. I think what they mean when they say that is if you've used all your glyphs and you haven't found an exit, you must go back to the city. Yeah, so I'm going to move over here. Oh, shoot. Alright, before we do that, though, Miriam Lamb is going to cast her minor healing spell, which is a guaranteed success, basically. Well, no, I have to roll anyway, because I could roll 3 skulls, but I did not. So he regenerates 1, because he's going to lose 1 when we move. Now we're going to move, and he loses 1, so we lose another time unit. Well, hold on here. I think I've gone too far, but I have a cat wanting to get in. Because I think when I moved, because of the spider, when I fought the spider, it was here. Then I used the spell, then I moved. We'll go here. Again, better safe than sorry when it comes to making sure you do everything according to the rules. Okay. Having barely recovered your emotions, you walk for some time down a corridor and finally end up in a room with no exit other than a well full of water. You'll have to swim. Okay, we have a well full of water. This would have been where the potion of water breathing might come in handy. And it says each agent must succeed at the test individually or take the potion of water breathing. Well, I don't think we have the potion of water breathing. So we're all going to have to make the test. This is going to be tough. Actually, I don't think we're going to make it through in time. Yeah, I don't think... I mean... I guess it's possible. Let's try the ranger first. I guess it's possible, but I don't think it's happening. I wonder... I really do think that I have 1 extra time unit. So we're going to go for that. I would really like to see the ending this time. And, yeah. I really do think that I had 1 more than I ended up with. Hey, honey. Hey, sweetie. Alright. So, ranger first. 1, 2. It doesn't matter. Because he lost a time unit. And, yeah, we're not going to get through. So, we're going to lose a time unit. Basically, every person who attempts this test is going to lose a time unit. Like, if Altace the Elder attempts it, he's going to lose another time unit. So every time the party loses a time unit, because the black one, I believe, is everybody loses it. The blue one is that player only loses it. So we are down to, again, failure due to the time units. So... I'm going to read the mission failed time units card 1 more time, and it is up to me to go back and explore a different route into the castle. It sounds like using the wizards isn't going to work out for me that well. I mean, I think I did really well in time units. I think I did very, very well in time management on that game, and yet I ended up having no chance of getting through it at the end. I mean, I guess part of it was fighting that spider, but it's going to be tough. and I lose all of my items basically because none of them have the agency logo on them. So I'm going to be restarting the game, and I think I'm going to go for a let's see. I think I'm going to go for the fighter characters next. So let's see, the paladin and the warrior. No, because they have terrible. Oh man. They have really, really bad agility. I mean, if that's the only way to get in, I guess I need to bring the potion of water breathing. That's the moral of the story here. I just need to make sure to get the potion of water breathing, because otherwise I'm not getting in there. Let's see. Yeah. Alright. Well, anyway, that was the second run of Time Stories, A Prophecy of Dragons. I hope that you enjoyed it. And of course, there is much more to see that I have not yet taken a glance at. So even if you've not played the game for yourself, I think there's still a lot more for you to discover. And I hope that you do. But until then, of course, that's all she wrote.